On April 14, Reuters reported, more than 3 years since the Russian-Ukrainian conflict exploded, Europe was falling into a dilemma in the energy problem. Cut off, Russia, now want to come back? During the peak period of the 2022-2023 energy crisis, liquefied natural gas LNG from the US became a life buoy of Europe, replacing supply from Russia. However, now, when the geopolitical situation changes, European businesses began to worry. Depending on the United States, especially under Mr. Trump, could be a risk gamble. Trump, LNG and trade leverage. US President Donald Trump has repeatedly turned into a commercial bargaining tool. In this context, a number of large business leaders in Europe are considering what was once considered taboo, returning to importing a part of Russian gas, including the word giant, Gazprom. The EU announced the termination of Russian gas import in 2027, but the reality is showing the opposite. Negotiations with Qatar, a potential source of LNG, are stagnant. Renewable energy is still too slow to meet the huge needs of the bloc. ENGIE, TotalEnergies spoke. Didier Holleaux, vice president of ENGIE, a major French electricity group, said that Russia could return to provide 20 to 25% of the demand for gas to the EU, although lower than 40% before the conflict. Meanwhile, CEO Patrick Pouna of TotalEnergies warns, Europe cannot be too dependent on the US. Germany's energy crisis, there is no time to wait. In Germany, the place that depends up to 60% on cheap gas from Russia, the situation is becoming serious. At Leuna Chemical Park, a large German industrial center, businesses are calling for help. We are in a serious crisis and cannot wait anymore, said Christoph Guerher, CEO of Infraleuna. The reopening pipes will reduce energy more than any allowance program. In the same opinion, Mr. Klaus Power leader Leuna Hars said frankly, we need Russian gas, need cheap energy, no matter where it comes from. We need Nord Stream 2. According to a Forsa Institute survey, nearly half of the people in Mecklenburg-Vorpommern where the Nord Stream pipes update want to return to the Russian gas. America, LNG is no longer neutral? American LNG currently accounts for about 17% of the total amount of EU imported gas, second only to Norway and Russia. But now, according to experts, LNG is increasingly difficult to keep the neutral of geopolitical. Researcher Tatiana Mitrova from Columbia University warns, if the trade war escalates, the United States can completely use LNG as a bargain tool. And the EU cannot exclude this risk. An unnamed EU diplomat confirmed, no one can be sure that the US will not use gas to make leverage in negotiations. The IG Group also warned that the demand increases in the country, especially by industries and AI, which can cause the US to reduce or stop exporting to Europe to ensure domestic supply. Target 2027. Just a dream? The non-binding goal of the EU is to terminate the import of Russian gas in 2027. But the detailed plan has not been published, and is increasingly delayed. In the context of insufficient replacement supply, decline in industrial production, internal politics and risks from the US increasing, Europe may be forced to select the path that they have vowed not to turn. This is the 24-hour news, update the whole world geopolitical view. Do not forget to subscribe to the channel to not miss the hottest news.